I can't tell what you're talking about, number one.
Like that.
And number, George Washington used to quote him, too. I can't tell a lie.
There we are.
And he threw the silver dollar across the Potomac. Where would you put yourself, Ken, on the liar spectrum? Occasional, or would you be like the early Kant? You would never lie for any reason. Personally, yeah.
You know,
a perfect
that
person?
Dress does not make you look fat. Like, how about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. So, first of all, before we get into the biz,
sorry, dear, I'm sorry.
Biz of the day.
She's not listening.
The huge Kavanaugh story. Thank you, Connor, for hosting the last couple of weeks.
It was so much fun.
By the way, Connor, you did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
He did a good job. And, you know, Ken, you, Ken, are a true broadcast professional. For several decades, you have done it all. You have anchored, you have hosted, you have reported. You are a super intelligent guy, an amazing amazing voice. Turn the transmitter on. You probably got a first-class radio telephone
amazing voice. Thank you,
license.
Yeah.
The point is that, you know, you're a pro. I have been on the fringes of broadcasting, but I've hosted like hundreds of talk show shows.
So this week.
I'm comfortable with this stuff. Connor's never done it before, and I was amazed at how you came through, stepped up. You were great. So thank you for hosting that.
You really mean that now, right?
I do. No more of this. No more of this Kant crap.
This Bertha excrement hat.
Okay. So I want to tell folks we have breaking news here on the Royal Oak Show. The big story, of course, is Kavanaugh. I have found out where Dianne Feinstein hid the Dr. Ford letter for almost 2 months from her staff, from her colleagues, from the world, from the FBI. Nobody has heard this. We're going to break it on this show a little later.
Yeah.
Matt has the information queued up. We're going to tell the world where she hid that letter. Wow. So that is coming up a little bit later.
I mean, wasn't it a mayonnaise jar in Funkin' Wagnall's porch since noon today?
No, but that's a great Johnny Carson reference.
Yeah. Hey-o.
So I thought it would be fun. We usually don't take a bunch of calls, but I thought it would be fun to invite the listeners, as soon as I turn my phone off.
Shame, Joe Manchin, shame.
To call in and let us know, a simple yes or no question. If you had been senator on the floor today.
That's our first call, by the way, who was calling.
A couple of hours ago, the senators did vote to confirm Kavanaugh. If you had been one of the senators, how would you have voted? Yes or no on Kavanaugh? Simple as that. Yes or no on Kavanaugh. Here's the number you can call, 818-818-6401. 818-818-6401. You can vote. Now, we'll ask you, why the heck you came to that conclusion if you want to explain, but we want to take an informal poll.
We promise to be nice.
Yes, absolutely right. The story that we're going to get into, of course, is the Kavanaugh confirmation, but we do like to kick off the show with our beloved features. We've got a couple of features that we do every week. One is Moron of the Week. We have 2 idiots we pick from the planet, and then at the end of the show we vote on the stupidest person. So, guys, I have a first candidate I want to run by you. We'll get to the other one a little later. Now, I know it seems cruel to beat up on a little 10-year-old boy. I wasn't terribly mature when I was 10, but he did call recently to a 911 number.
Oh my!
And so while he was on the line, probably several people died from unsolved emergencies. Would you like to know why little Wilbur in Colorado was calling? Use his real name.
Cat fell down a well.
Close. He needed help with his math homework.
Oh, come on!
Yes, he calls 911. He was troubled with long division.
Well, to be fair, very difficult.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. And so he's talking to this guy, and they spent almost a minute helping divide 3,052 by 71. Meanwhile, as I say, half the population of Colorado expired because of true emergencies. Do you think it's unfair for me to put the little 10-year-old boy in the can
on blast?
Well, what about his parents? Were his parents around? Did they know about this? And,
I don't know. You're asking for deep facts, Ken.
See, that is
this is the investigative reporter in Ken.
Yes, absolutely.
Deep facts.
I don't know. I just think he belongs in the list. Maybe we'll vote for the other guy.
The poor kid.
The other candidate, I'll give you a little
hopefully
teaser.
The other one is older.
He's older. Yeah, he's definitely older.
It's not a theme episode.
Than that, right.
Where we beat up children.
So our other feature that is so beloved is Guess the Verdict, guys. Are you feeling like Nostradamus to be able to guess the verdict of a couple of oddball suits? We actually have 3.
I used to wear an oddball suit, but that's another story. I'm sorry.
So this one's pretty straightforward. From Longview, Washington, a cowboy recently expired. His last request, and this isn't like milk in the refrigerator, he died, let's be clear about this.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He wanted to be buried in his cowboy outfit, from hat to boots. That was this guy's last request. Yeah. At the last minute, the funeral director removed the Stetson, and it was not included in the casket, and so the Stetson was not buried with the cowboy.
Intentionally?
Yeah, intentionally. It wasn't an accidental removal of a Stetson. That would be really...
Did they not fit the Stetson in the coffin or something?
You can't put a Stetson on a guy when he's lying in a coffin.
Yeah.
So
he wanted it in the coffin.
Yeah.
Whether it was on his tummy or just to the side of his torso or actually on his head, one way or the other, that thing was going to be in that casket.
Gotta be
it wasn't. The widow sued for emotional distress. So guys, what would you think, Ken? Would you guess that the widow would win or lose?
I think she would. I think she would win. She requested it. It wasn't done. Yeah. I presume they had an open casket ceremony. Why? But
more details. You're like Woodward and Bernstein.
What it begs the question: if it's an open casket, why couldn't she retrieve the Stetson, stick it on his head,
right?
Yeah,
so he could be buried?
I don't think it was an open casket. That's what I'm inferring.
That must be.
But I think she does win.
Connor, what's your guess?
My guess is we probably found the guy walking around town wearing the Stetson, and he's going down. So I agree with Ken, absolutely.
That would be pretty big. You're both right. And $101,000 is what the jury awarded.
Whoa!
Well, that's a lot of emotional distress.
It's a $10-gallon award.
Your husband only dies and wants a hat once, so I guess they were feeling generous. Case number 2. Let's go to Kent, Washington. Still in Washington State. A couple in Kent attended a nudist music festival patterned after Woodstock, and it was called Nude Stock. Pictures of the couple at the festival were taken and printed in an adult magazine next to people in more provocative poses. You see, Connor, in the old days they had adult magazines. Now they just have the internet. There are adult magazines now.
I know what MAGA means.
Yeah, that's an adult phrase.
But
all right, so they are printed in next to people in more, shall we say, provocative poses. These folks were just out to have a good time and listen to the Grateful Dead. So they sue for invasion of privacy and defamation. How do you think that this lawsuit might have turned out? Did the naked couple win, or did the magazine prevail? Ken, what do you think?
Were there signs saying you may be photographed?
Ooh, good question.
Once again, this guy's curiosity is endless. It's like a bottomless
sometimes when you go to the Hollywood Bowl, for instance, they will say, this is for TV taping. If you don't want to be here, get out. Yeah. Because if if you show up, let's say, with your mistress and your wife is at home, and it shows up on television,
I have 6 lines here, Ken. I got nothing more than what I told you.
Yeah, I think they may have a case.
Okay, so I think I agree with Ken. There's this concept in the law that some people have probably heard of called the false light invasion of privacy. And false light invasion of privacy is not we snuck into your house and saw you when you shouldn't have been seen when you were being nude, but when you're putting yourself out there in the world, but the way that you're photographed and the way that your image is used portrays you in a false light. So if you're walking down the street in front of a heroin rehab clinic and somebody snaps a picture and says, Connor's in rehab,
yeah, good point.
That puts you in a false light. I was just walking down the street. Now, these people were at a nudist colony or festival, and that's normal, but they weren't intending to be placed next to other people doing provocative, sexy things in an adult magazine, and therefore it makes them look like they're porn stars, which they're not. So
you guys think they probably won?
Think they won.
Yeah, they lost.
What?
Yeah. What? Yeah. The court said, "Hey, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it." I think the judge,
come on, that's the super chicken defense.
After all that hard work I just did,
the judge was probably unsympathetic. He probably was not the kind of guy that would go to nude stock himself.
I could have won that case. I could have won it.
Third and final case, guys. Let's go to Floydada, Texas. Pentecostal preacher from Floydada and 19 of his parishioners decide to drive away in 4 cars because they believed the devil was coming. On the way, they decide their clothes are possessed, so they take their clothes off. Yes, Connor.
And they go to nude stock. Yeah.
And there's a theme. This is a theme show.
Episode.
The theme, yeah.
So they throw their clothing away. Then they run out of gas. So you've got 20 nude Pentecostals piling into one car, squeezing 5 people into the trunk. The police try to stop them, but the driver does not want to deal with the cops, so he tears down a fence around a baseball stadium. So criminal charges were contemplated against the nude Pentecostals. How do you think the charges went? Were they filed? Were they found guilty? What's the deal?
I'm going to say they were filed, and then the Pentecostals successfully plead insanity. That's my assessment.
Okay, that's a good guess. Ken, what's your guess?
No, like the clothes, they were thrown out. The charges were thrown out.
Very nice. Very nice.
You're all week trying to be all.
All right.
I don't know.
So who you think you're voting
charges
for the cops?
Out, yeah.
Okay, thrown out. Well, here's the answer. There were no charges, but the driver was told he had to pay $600 to fix the fence and told to put some clothes on.
A reasonable request.
Yeah, so that was pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. So let's get to the top story, guys. Boy, talk about drama. Yeah. I was on the air with KBC Friday from 10 to noon, and nonstop 2 hours of solid calls. And I got to say, 80% of the calls were in support of Kavanaugh. Mm-hmm. And about 20%, let's see, 80, 20, that comes up to
there 100. We are. Good job.
20% were against him. And what was fascinating to me was that four women called who said that they had been raped years ago, and they did not believe Dr. Ford. And I thought, this is weird. I would think that a victim of a sexual assault would have a natural sympathy for her, because it's not like she was patently making it up, she's a Democratic tool.
Why would they
Some people thought, stuff like that.
Why would they say that?
I don't know. I mean, I think they felt that she should have had more details at her disposal. And we've heard for weeks this stuff about repressed memory and, of course,
how psychology works that
way. I don't know. I mean, it could have been that they were just blatantly political, just like let's be fair, the Me Too women on the other side say, believe the accusers no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you had this
is the flip side, maybe.
Yeah, we'll get into it as we get through the show, because that's the crux of it. That's the whole thing, is do you believe her, and is her story credible? And almost the lack of details makes it more credible in my mind. And we'll get to that. I know that sounds very strange, but I'm excited to try to explain why the lack of detail, I think, makes her more credible.
Well, if you want to join the conversation, folks, 818-818-6401, 818-818-6401, would you have approved Kavanaugh or not? Stay with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So the Kavanaugh drama is in the books. As of a couple of hours ago, the Senate approved the nomination. Man, what a dramatic finish. I mean, when things started yesterday morning, Friday morning, first of all, Murkowski of Alaska surprised people a little bit by saying no.
Right.
And she said it was a tough decision. She said, I think he's a good man, but he's just not the right guy for the job at the time, which is a little weird. I mean, to say he's a good man, I mean, to say no has to be based on the idea that you think he's, guilty of sexual assault, right?
I don't think that's true. I think that Murkowski might well have said the temperament he displayed, his response, his inability to control himself, the way he came off, the op-ed he wrote, the Fox News interview he did, all these things in many people's eyes were themselves disqualifying. Should have they think, an incredibly high standard for Supreme Court justice positions.
Well,
and why this guy? Why not any other random conservative who is not a huge jerk who can't control himself and has these, insane partisan leanings that will, even if you're a conservative, the fact that, any decision he makes from now on, everyone's going to point to and go, that guy claimed that a pro-Clinton revenge conspiracy was trying to keep him out of his seat. There's no way he's an impartial judge.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter anymore. It's done. Yeah. It's done. That's it.
Yeah, but we're into history. We want to talk about history pre-yesterday.
No, I understand it. But
will it taint him, though? Will his future decisions not be as powerful and respected?
So let's talk about that.
Because of it.
Let's talk about it. Let's go through the points you raised. Yeah. First, there's the Fox News interview with Martha McCallum. Mm-hmm. That was actually like he was, on Ambien and about to drift off.
Right.
He was very low-key. He wasn't bombastic. He wasn't partisan. So I don't think you can hold that against him. In fact, I think people came up to him afterwards and said, hey, how about a little more feistiness?
Don McGahn grabs him while Ford is testifying in front of the committee. Don McGahn grabs him and says, no, you're not watching Ford's testimony. Instead, you're rewriting.
Really? I didn't know that. I heard him say when they asked him, did you watch Dr. Ford's testimony? No. And he said, no, I was preparing. And I'm thinking, you were preparing?
Yeah, exactly.
You've had days or weeks to prepare. You didn't watch what specifically she said against you so you could rebut it point by point? I was stunned.
And by the way, why couldn't they have them both in the room at the same time?
She wouldn't put up with it. She didn't want him. And if she's telling the truth, I can see why. Yeah, why would you want this sort of semi-alleged almost rapist in the same room?
Even though it's not a trial, what about the right to confront your accuser?
Well, that's the thing. Without it being a trial, you don't have any right. You don't have any right to due process.
Yeah, it's a good point because there's an argument for having the right to confront folks and have cross-examination in a trial. But as Connor said, this wasn't a trial, and so they were so nice to her. Grassley wanted to be so solicitous. Are you okay? Do you want flavored water? Do you want to take any breaks? Right. They didn't want to be seen as bullied. That's why they brought the lady from Maricopa County, Arizona, the sex crimes prosecutor, to grill her in a very polite, friendly way. She said, "Oh, so you didn't fly? If we'd questioned you in California, that would have been a much shorter flight for me." It was really friendly. Yeah. Okay, so. First step, I don't think the Fox News thing should be held against him. Secondly,
well, it's the difference between the two. It's Fox News to his testimony in front of the Senate.
So let's talk about the testimony in front of the Senate.
Yeah,
he was angry and he was emotional. Isn't there a good argument, though, if you know that you're innocent of a sex crime and you've been accused not only of this was it an attempted rape, was he going to kill her because he wasn't letting her breathe, but also the gang rapes and the rape on the boat? And you see your whole life, your whole career, poof, up in smoke. Wouldn't you be surprised if a totally innocent person didn't react with some fire and passion and emotion?
Of course, I would be surprised if they had absolutely no fire and passion and emotion. I think it's a matter of degree. I think that his reaction, everybody sort of saw it, that it was extreme. It was at the top of the spectrum.
I don't know if I'd go along with Matt Damon's. I'm going to start out at an 11 and right quick go up to 15.
Yeah.
But it was up there.
I think he did a pretty good job of tapping.
You mean Matt Damon?
Yeah, of tapping into what people's response was. They thought, oh, wow,
you're right.
This is strange.
You're right. So now let's break it down and talk about the partisanship. Because I got a problem with the criticism of him there. Mm-hmm. The argument he had was that this was a partisan, Democrat-fueled witch hunt hit job. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, revenge on behalf of the Clintons and the desperate desire by the Democrats to get past January 4 so that we could have a new Senate, that was the motivation. Why wouldn't it be appropriate for him to call them out especially when Ruth Bader Ginsburg called out Trump and basically called the guy an idiot, even though she was about to hear the travel ban case in a month or two, which was based entirely on whether Trump is a racist, because the idea was, you know, the anti-Muslim stuff.
Racial animus.
Yeah, racial
exactly.
animus and so on. So if Ruth Bader Ginsburg can get away with that, and I look back through the record, no Democrats ever in the nation said, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, don't you dare try to hear any Trump cases because you have to recuse yourself, you're biased. So I think she has a right to vent, and Kavanaugh had a right to vent. We'll get an opposing view on this issue on the Kavanaugh topic when we come back here on the Royal Oak Show. Stay with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Welcome to your island home away from home at Ka'anapali Beach Hotel. Relax and unwind on 11 acres of tropical gardens by the whale-shaped pool or in a beachfront cabana. Enjoy your favorite ocean activities, cultural activities, and free nightly entertainment. A perfect setting for weddings, honeymoons, family vacations, or just a weekend getaway. Experience aloha at its best at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Call 661-0011 or visit kbhmaui.com and let us welcome you and your ohana to ours.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
The following ad contains shocking material. Listener discretion is advised. Is someone in your family playing a dangerous game of Russian roulette? Over 43,000 people die a year from drug overdose. 120 people a day. 5 people every hour. 1 person every 12 minutes. 88,000 people die every year from alcohol abuse. Over 240 people a day. 10 an hour. 1 person every 6 minutes. Somebody you know may be next. Learn how to help someone you love get away from the drugs, alcohol, and bad influences. With the FMLA, people can take a leave of absence from their job and still keep it.
Call Quit Drugs 321 now at 800-378-3315, 800-378-3315, 800-378-3315. That's 800-378-3315.
Destination South Point. 11 great restaurants, bingo, bowling, movies, race books, sports books, spa, live entertainment, oversized rooms, and the rates unbeatable. The South Point Las Vegas. Book now. Online at southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. At the South Point Las Vegas, you're always a winner.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes. So I went on my rant about, let's call it Royal, the case of Royal versus RBG, Notorious RBG. Okay. My point is, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg can rant against Donald Trump and nobody says recuse yourself, ma'am, then why can't Kavanaugh, when it isn't just a generalized interest like she has in politics? His life was being, torn apart. Why shouldn't he be able to come across like a real partisan? So what say you?
I agree. I think RBG's comments about Trump were a problem. That was definitely a mistake. I think that and Kavanaugh's partisanship were both a mistake, and you kind of have to take that position for consistency's sake, although you could say that RBG's, while her interest is more distant and thus she's sort of allowed less to have an emotional reaction to it and have an outburst, but her outburst was milder. So it kind of goes both ways, but I still think she made a mistake on that.
I think she's the first Supreme Court justice in history to go by 3 initials. Can you think of any others?
No, I think you're right.
John Marshall never went by JQM.
That's a good point. Yeah. Quincy? All right, so my issue, part of my issue was that, as I said earlier, the difference between the Fox News interview and his testimony in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee was a problem. Don McGahn pulled the guy aside, cleared the room of aides, sat him down and said, one-on-one, Trump wants a performance. Your performance here for the American people.
I didn't hear this. How do we know this?
We don't know.
Has this been confirmed by Woodward and Bernstein?
Yeah, but we have seen Kavanaugh's notes, his speech, his pre-written speech.
Right.
And we know that McGahn cleared the room of
Energy up, he wrote? Or what?
He went through and added extra partisan punches language into the text of the speech, where he would write, there's been a frenzy of accusations, and he hand wrote in after McGahn told him Trump wants a fighter. He doesn't want a wimp like he saw on Fox, right? He adds a frenzy on the left. Sorry, he adds the words on the left, and then he writes hit job and revenge for the Clintons in pen afterwards. Wow. So this is him taking a calculated move to say, I know that they can get me the votes because they've got the Senate. Mm-hmm. What I need to do is make sure that Trump doesn't pull back and go with Amy Leon Barrett or something.
Ooh, so he was fighting for his life and his job. Do you think there's any chance he'll recuse himself from Trump-centric cases?
Zero. I think that would be an admission. And if there's one thing that we've learned in the Trump era, it's that you never back down.
You never apologize.
But he's got a lifetime appointment now.
That's true. He can do whatever he wants.
So Ken, you raised the question of impeachment. Let's say the Democrats.
Well, the Democrats raised the impeachment. I mean,
they're talking about it.
And I never knew you could even impeach a sitting Supreme Court judge.
Hey, when I was a kid in the San Fernando Valley in the 60s, giant billboards, impeach Earl Warren. The John Birch Society paid for them, and they were all over the country. Mm-hmm. So are you hearing, Ken, that if the Democrats, for example, take over one or both of the halves of Congress, that they will say, well, we may have lost the battle, but here's the rest of the war. We think that there is credible evidence of sexual misconduct by this guy, and we want to impeach him from the Supreme Court. I mean, is that a thing that we're going to be facing?
I don't know. And the other thing is, would they try to impeach Trump? I mean, that's a
that's a foregone conclusion. We know.
What do you want to do first? It's like what. But I don't know. I mean, and first of all, I don't even know if there's going to be a blue tsunami in November, and I think it's going to be a tight election.
Yeah, just make it a blue wave. We don't want to make it a
blue wave or whatever it is, and I think, and I won't even. It's just a gut feeling, and I have no polling. The polling, because polling is wrong. 538.com was wrong on election night, and
538 that's a great example, because 538 actually does a really good job of framing their polling as a percentage chance of a certain thing occurring and not a percentage chance projected votes.
Yeah, well,
so imagine you say to somebody, how fair is this coin? And they say this coin is 75-25. They're not saying the votes are going to come out 75-25. That's not close at all. That's
enough caveats in there to...
That's a massive landslide. But 75-25 percentage means flip that coin 4 times. Trump wins once.
538.com on the morning of Election Day in 2016, they gave Hillary a 70% chance, 30% chance. Now that was down from, you could that she was trending down, and of course, by the end of the night, she trended way down.
Remarkable day. Yeah. So let's talk about the issue of whether accusers should always be believed. A gal named Kathy Young, she's with Reason Magazine, Libertarian magazine, had an op-ed in the LA Times yesterday, and she said a professor of USC came under attack last week for bringing up the issue of false accusations when a school-wide email from a campus women's group invited a dialogue on sexual violence and urged people to believe survivors. In reply, Professor James Moore cautioned against automatic belief, stressing due process and noting accusers sometimes lie. The response was a torrent of hostile emails, a campus rally calling for Moore's firing, and a message from the dean condemning his insensitive comment. Now, the column goes on to say that a lot of studies, cops and psychologists, have concluded that 2 to 8% of accusations of sexual assault are false. They either admit it or there's definitive evidence that comes forward. This issue of whether you always believe survivors and accusers really came to the fore, and I'm wondering if it turned out to be a negative for sort of the progressive side of the House, because, I mean, it does defy common sense. Obviously, it is theoretically possible for an accuser to lie, and yet the message we were getting in support of Dr. Ford was so adamant, was so monolithic and single-minded, it seemed like maybe it backfired on the left and might have helped Kavanaugh.
I don't think it did. I think that the audience that the Believe Survivors crowd is aiming at is not the right, which was never listening to them, but the folks in the middle who everybody has this gut reaction when there's somebody, especially who's politically aligned with you, or just who you like, or somebody who makes the music you listen to, or acts on the Cosby Show, or whatever. Our reaction to that is, "Ooh, I don't think that's true. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would do that." And that is what they're trying to overturn. Believe women doesn't mean lock Cosby up before his trial. Believe women means, yes, innocent until proven guilty is a very good standard to use in the courtroom, but when somebody comes forward with an accusation which is 2 to 8%, right? So 98 to 92% likely to be accurate, believe them and don't go, start a lynch mob and kill the guy yet.
Don't you think they need a better PR outfit then? Because that's not how it came across.
What
didn't come across as you should almost always believe because 92 to 98%. Instead, it was 100%.
Well, that's the thing. 100% of the time, don't dismiss. 100% of the time, hear them, say, I hear you, I believe that happened to you, because you got, like, in your brain, there's no way you take a true, I don't have any position on this at all. He could be saying that, she could be saying that, I have no position. No, in your mind, you hear some facts, what do? Right off the bat, believe. And then when he goes off and says, I have a defense here and here are the facts, then listen to him as well. But you're right. You can't believe everything 100%. It's about what the default position is. Do we dismiss people by default? No, we shouldn't.
Can I say something that I think is 100% true?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think it's 100% true. Trump is going to take this and try to make it a red tsunami in November, possibly,
and I
by
think
appealing to men.
It has helped him bond with his party.
And because he could say, "What about men? Believe men, men."
Young men have a hard time in this society.
Right, and as we discussed off the air, he plays the victim card very well, and he can say, "Look at all the women that came out against me. I'm the victim here. What about men? Come on and vote on behalf of men, men, and men may vote, and white men may vote."
It is amazing.
That might be enough.
It is incredibly amazing to me how successful the defense, when you put up a guy who's been accused of sexual assault, how effective his defense is of, well, lots of women have accused me of sexual assault as well, so... Wait, what?
Well,
that's how
he uses it to his advantage by playing the victim card.
How, though, can the Republicans win? Because I saw a statistic in the last week. Men favor Republicans by 3 percentage points. Women favor Democrats by 25 percentage points. Now, last time I checked, the ladies and the guys are about 50-50 in the society. How in the world can Republicans win if there's that kind of disparity, especially when we've gone through this incident?
Because it depends who votes.
That's
true.
Exactly
Who votes. And if you sit home again... if you
ladies are just baking cookies and not voting? Is that what we're saying?
It's conservative.
I didn't say that. Connor said that.
It's liberal women who are not voting. It's conservative women.
Okay. Now, why wouldn't liberal women vote when there's an opportunity to crush Trump's dream?
Well, they might.
Liberal women are younger and conservative women are older, and older people vote. It's all about the
people know the way to the polls.
Transaction. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's turnout in this society is massive. Now, there's disenfranchisement, absolutely. There are voter suppression attempts. There are really successful campaigns that basically say voting doesn't matter, you know, subtle or obvious, but all of these factors are a giant, you could say, swirling tsunami that result in people not voting.
And plus, whether or not the results could be hacked
by Russians. Yeah.
Now, here's a name.
By
Joel
somebody
Kaplan.
overseas, maybe.
Kavanaugh had a good week. Joel Kaplan had a bad week. He is Facebook's vice president for global public policy. He's a friend of Judge Kavanaugh's. He sat behind Kavanaugh at his recent testimony, a few rows back, but clearly, you know, you could see a few people, their faces there for hours. And he didn't tell his bosses he was going to be there. Oh, my goodness. Talk about a rough day at the office. Mark Zuckerberg is not happy. All the other executives. He's a super high-up guy at Facebook, and he is in major trouble because all internally, all the Facebook folks are just, you know, talking about how terrible this was because it suggested that Facebook is supporting this, you know, this sexual predator.
They should have put up a sign saying, "You're going to be photographed here." Exactly. Going back to the old Hollywood Bowl thing.
You got to be warned.
That's right. That's right.
Maybe on television.
When you were talking about the politics a second ago, I really think, I touched on it, I think this could be a pivotal moment in favor of Trump because, let's face it, with the economy the way it is, we just got to 3.7% unemployment, which was the lowest in 50 years.
Although I think there was an issue about wages being really low or something like that, but I'm not sure
could
what.
Be faster,
but overall, I mean, it's happy days are here again, and the politicians or the political scientists who look at this kind of stuff say, you know, this phrase, "It's the economy, stupid." It's for real. Anybody but Trump would be in the 60% range of approval, and he's lucky to be at 40. So he's in major trouble.
He'll tell you 50, by the way.
He'll tell you 99. Yeah. But the thing is, this Kavanaugh deal seems to have helped Trump bond with the GOP. It's like they felt they were in the foxhole together, and they were under assault. And so I'm wondering if, you know, the timing is really good for him. Some people are speculating that the Democrats, the progressive folks, will be so furious about how things went down with Kavanaugh, they'll be energized, and there will be this tsunami. Other people are saying that the GOP smells blood in the water, and they're going to show up. I think, unfortunately for the Democrats, the answer may lie in a poll that Fox News was running this last week. They said, what are the 5 major drivers of people's interests if going into the midterms? And one was the economy, one was guns, one was health care. Kavanaugh was not in the top 5. And so if that poll's right, now we don't know if Fox is right.
It would be a Fox poll. Well, who knows?
A poll of Fox viewers, perhaps.
Right. But that suggests that there won't be any backlash against Kavanaugh because of liberals furious with
that's why the Democratic Party, they cannot assume a blue wave. You can't do it.
You absolutely cannot assume it for sure. I think one factor that may be in the Democrats' favor on the other side of things is I think you're totally right that this Kavanaugh situation can cut both ways. And as a result of the fact that it can cut both ways, you can see competing waves. You can see competing turnout numbers high on both sides. But think about the fact that liberals have a classically much lower turnout rate. And as a result, if you get a ton of liberals to come out, you might get a much higher proportion of people who are on the edge about voting who show up, whereas a lot of those conservatives who get fired up and form this wave, they were mostly going to vote already anyway.
Right.
And as a result, the two waves crashing might end up with the blue one on top.
Maybe. But
never know.
It could just be a very tight races.
Absolutely.
All the way around.
Let's talk about the really dramatic moment yesterday when Susan Collins announced, I guess mid-morning, she was going to reveal her decision at noon, high noon Pacific time. And nobody knew what was going to happen. We hadn't heard from Manchin of West Virginia. We'd heard from Murkowski, she was voting against. We'd heard from Flake, he was voting yes. So the situation was, if Collins went against, then we had to get Manchin, so she was the key. And she stands up there, and it was just like high noon. I mean, with Gary Cooper, waiting for Frank Miller, and I still want to know why that damn governor pardoned Frank Miller.
An unwise decision.
Yeah. But, I mean, she stood up there, and she talked for 43 minutes. And that speech had been in the can for a while.
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody wrote that the night before. Nope. But she did say she agonized over it and so on.
She lied.
She is a woman. She is a moderate Republican. She is facing $1 million plus from a GoFundMe thing to go against her now because she voted for Kavanaugh.
Right.
She is very interested in women's rights, abortion rights, and so on. So what's your theory? Why did she fall in line and vote for Kavanaugh when it wouldn't have been that hard for her to do basically what Murkowski had done, and say, you know what, it's just, I'm not saying he's a terrible person. I'm just saying enough doubt was kicked up that this is a really hugely important thing. There are so many qualified people. I'm sorry, but I have to say no to this guy. Why do you think she flipped and basically she was the decider? She put Kavanaugh on the court.
Yeah, I think it's because she's a spineless jellyfish.
But is that her track record? I'm no expert on Susan Collins, from the senator from Maine, but you know what you hear about her. The book is that she's a moderate, and that she had said before the hearings, I don't want to hear from anybody who is going to be threatening a woman's right to choose. So given that, I mean, she went point by point. She even answered the argument that Kavanaugh is too pro-President Trump in the sense of going after a sitting president for criminal or civil matters.
Right.
I'm really struggling with what is it that led to her vote.
She did say, though, right, didn't she ask him kind of point blank about Roe versus Wade being settled law?
Yeah.
Did she not say that?
She did. I think she was dead wrong on it. She didn't even make any sense. She cites Brown v. Board of Education, which is as a reason to how Kavanaugh had talked about it, to say he respects precedent. Brown v. Board of Education overturned Plessy v. Ferguson, which said separate but equals okay, and Brown said no, it's inherently unequal.
Right.
That is a great example of a moral decision that overturns legal precedent. That's literally the sort of decision that could kill Roe v. Wade. Yeah. So it makes no sense that she would have said that. It cuts directly against it. I think it's a great example of how she just caved to political pressure. It doesn't actually have the ideological reasons behind it.
Decision. When we come back, we are going to break news. We are going to reveal where Dianne Feinstein was hiding Dr. Ford's letter. So stay with us on the Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Hey, Lorraine, do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurants.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family.
The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Still got those annoying critters? I'm talking bees and fleas, spiders, ants, roaches, bed bugs, and those disgusting rodents. Have you made that call to Dewey Pest Control yet? What's holding you back? Get rid of them, and I mean right now. When the heat brings them out, it's time to call Dewey, because Dewey knocks them down and keeps them out. Dewey's an 89-year heritage California family business with 32 offices statewide. Think you got those 24/7 wood-munching termites chewing up your house? Call Dewey right now for their free inspection. And all this month, get $89 off with a regular maintenance program. Call 800-209-0900. That's 800-209-0900. Just one call to Dewey does it all. 800-209-0900. Or get your free inspection online at DeweyRadio.com. That's Dewey, D-E-W-E-Y, DeweyRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent.
By the way, we just a little bulletin. Kavanaugh has been officially sworn in as of about say 10 minutes ago.
They did not waste any time. They missed first Monday in October by a few days, but
got it done.
Not too late. Not too late. So I've been promising. We're going to reveal. We're going to break news here on the Royal Oak Show.
Exciting.
Dianne Feinstein got this letter on July 30, and she hid it for over a month from the Democrats on the committee, from the FBI, from the world. We now know where she was hiding it, and there is a parody singer on YouTube who is brilliant. His name is Randy Rainbow. Check him out. He's really anti-Trump. So, I go in thinking about it with, I'm just going to be a little skeptical. I am a huge fan, and I think you will like Randy Rainbow as well. And his song you're about to hear, courtesy of Matt, explains the mystery of the location of the letter. So, Matt, play it, please.
Republicans assumed he was a shoo-in. Political control was all they saw. But look whose reputation's now in ruin. Judge Kavanaugh.
Great voice, don't you agree, guys?
Oh, yeah. Why, who could have foretold the accusations, which Feinstein pulled last minute from her bra?
Okay, there we have it. There we've disclosed the location
That's
of the
Dr.
Dr.
Ford.
Yeah, that was the secret. So we're going to get to our second moron of the week candidate here, guys. You'll recall the 10-year-old boy who called 911 asking how to do long division.
Oh, yeah, who you cruelly called out.
Yeah.
No.
For
I
his
didn't mention his name. I think I called him Little Timmy. It's not his real name.
It might be.
So here's the other candidate. You guys
maybe
can
it's Little Brett.
Yeah, maybe. Brett O'Kavanaugh?
Brett O'Kavanaugh.
Bart O'Kavanaugh. So see who's more idiotic, the little boy or this guy. He's on a New Jersey commuter train. He's sitting there. He's on his way to work, and he was running late that morning. So he's caught on video shaving on the train.
Oh, I heard about this.
As his fellow commuters look on in disgust. He uses a razor and shaving cream just like he was at home in his own bathroom. To clean the blade, he flicked his wrist, sending the excess shaving cream to the floor.
Oh.
So this is the Long Island Railroad commuters, your old stomping grounds, Ken.
Yeah, I drive. Trust me, I've been on that railroad many times. Yeah. Never saw anybody shave, though.
Of course, this is caught on a cell phone. It's on YouTube. The definition of a good day is when you don't wind up on YouTube, I guess, except in a CRN show. So what do you think, guys? What do you think of this man shaving?
Was this the guy? There was another story real quick of a guy shaving on a subway in New York, but he was homeless. Seriously.
Well, then he had an excuse,
and he was going to visit somebody he wanted to be clean.
Worried for
this guy had no excuse for shaving on the train. Well,
no excuse, just a jerk.
I'm worried about that. Like, I've ridden a lot of trains in my life. None are particularly stable. A lot of movement.
That's right. Could have gotten
the jugular,
carotid artery or the jugular.
Yeah, I'm worried about this.
Let me tell you something also about the Long Island Railroad, okay? We used to call it the Toonerville Trolley Company because the equipment in the trains came from like 1902.
Wow.
Okay.
Next stop, Willoughby. Willoughby.
Yeah, pretty much. And to survive that without getting your face all nicked up is, I should say, mazel tov to him.
Yeah.
But he's also a moron.
He's the moron, for sure.
So he beats out the little boy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The other story I wanted to get in, guys, had to do with Trump's taxes. If you picked up the New York Times, it was Monday or Tuesday. Maybe it was Wednesday.
No one did.
Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. A lot of people picked this one up because 10-page story about Trump cheating on his taxes.
Researched for like 10 months.
They start out saying instances of outright fraud by Trump. And he saved like $50 million or $500 million. He's supposed to pay $550 million. He paid $50 million in taxes. They say the statutes of limitations are probably gone.
Yeah.
Do you think people are going to care that Trump cheated to become a billionaire?
Yeah, I think so. I think this destroys the myth that he's this self-made man. I think it tears it down to shreds. This is the thing he was the most sensitive about and most protective of. And, oh, yeah, you can research whatever you want, you can investigate whatever you want, but don't you dare touch my taxes. Because the story that I only got $1 million loan from my dad is the only reason people give me any respect at all.
It may not matter at all.
You may be right. He may be furious. Yeah. I wonder if the people in general are going to care so much. Who knows? Hey, folks, thanks for watching. Stay with us next week on The Royal Oak Show. So long.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin'. And take Master Sommelier Michael Jordan with you to the wine shop so he can help you pick out that perfect bottle of wine. Stream episodes of the Sonoma Wine Report through our CRN app, TuneIn Radio, Nobex, Stitcher, UTunes, or AHA Radio. And start planning that unforgettable weekend in the wine country. They're in your corner on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other apps. And of course, you can always listen live through your local cable TV provider, as well as on our website at crntalk.com. For more information on where to listen to these great shows, along with many others, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.